Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another live session with the Hype Magazine. I'm your editor-in-chief, Jerry Doby, and today, I got a fishing buddy sitting next to me by the name of Aleks Paunovic. He is amazing actor, championship boxer. You can see by the physique, he ain't no play toy. He's over six, like Andre the Giant, almost six
Oh,
five,
come on.
right?
Andre's like 7 feet.
Yeah, but you're like 6'5". I think you're only a few inches short of Andre, bro.
All right. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Magnificent physical specimen. When he walks in the room, he captures the attention. Look, bro, you know him from Snowpiercer, but in his history, most recent and one of my actually favorite movies that I crack up about, FUBAR with Arnold Schwarzenegger, where the daughter and the father in the CIA together and didn't know. And oh man, that was like an amazing show. Really enjoyed you in that. Hard Power with Liam Neeson. Of course, you know Liam from All the Taken. Siberia with Keanu Reeves. Bro, come on. This is a heavy hitter, bro. This is why he's one of the driving forces why Snowpiercer on AMC and AMC Plus has pulled 5 years. Your magnetism on screen, what you bring to the characters. You know what I mean? Bojan
Oh,
Boscovic,
yeah.
Boyik
And
Boscovic.
I'll give you a story on that one when
Give
we
me
when we
that.
get to talking about it. I'll give you a story on that.
Amazing. So we're here not only to talk about, the final season of Snowpiercer, one of my favorite series, but to celebrate, the series and also catch the mindset, you know, of an actor, the best mindset. I always talk about being grateful for opportunities and being gracious to the people around you. And Alex has got some thoughts on that. So anyway, Snowpiercer, final season, kicked off July 22nd. Final run of the farewell is September 22nd of,
Correct.
of this year. You can catch, if you got AMC Plus, you can catch all the previous episodes and seasons on AMC Plus. Uh,
And if you're in Canada, it's on Crave Canada.
okay. All right. Here we go. We got people in Canada. You know what I'm saying? Welcome again, Alex, my brother.
Always a pleasure to see you again, my man. Always a pleasure to talk to you. My whole team was telling me, hey, so we got these interviews lined up. I'm like, no, we got to get Jerry on first. I want to do Jerry first, and we're going to move from there. So
Oh,
I'm stoked.
I'm so honored. You have no idea. At my age, all the compliments I get, I'm gonna take them. I appreciate that. That was major. So, from legendary athlete to legendary on-screen personality and philanthropist, we're going to talk about an initiative that you have going on with your Legend brand that you know talks to mental health and supports mental health initiatives and things like that. But let's get into Snowpiercer final run. Wow, what a journey, huh?
Have you seen the first two episodes? Like, the bottom line is, we shot this season I would say about 2.5 years ago, and then there was a blip with Turner and Warner where they kind of shelved it for a bit, and I'm so grateful for AMC and Crave to bring the show to the world, because we felt like it was some great work when we were shooting it, but it was 2.5 years ago. So I just finished watching the second episode last night, and it's stuff like I forgot about it. So I feel like the audience, I'm just as new as everybody else, and it is such a phenomenal first two episodes. I cannot wait to watch the rest.
Okay, amazing. Let's just. I said it. You know, championship boxer, just a physical specimen, amazing actor, both on the big screen and for television. You know what I mean? Humanitarian, cares about people. Let's just recap for him how you, Alex, from the inside looking out, see Alex Pond.
Oh, what a great question. It's an interesting question, man. You're starting off with a heavy hitter right away. It's one of those things where I think everyone goes through their doubt in their careers and in their lives. They have those quiet moments of that little guy on the shoulder. And I've had my struggles with that little guy on the shoulder. And luckily, we grew up in a time where talking about your problems and talking about the things that are bothering you was something that you bottled up. And so for me, I'm glad that the world has opened up and wants to talk about things that affect them so they can move forward in their lives and find different techniques and find your limitations to move forward in life. So for me, I'm just grateful to be in a position where I love my work. I love acting. I love working with people. I love being a part of a team. And Snowpiercer to me was one of those shows where it was such an ensemble cast that literally loved each other. Like we loved showing up to work. One of my favorite on set videos that you take videos on set and is Stephen Ogg. Stephen Ogg is one of my favorite people, and he would make these hilarious videos and dancing around set and he pulls everybody in. um, it was just a great. I'm very grateful to be even asked to be a part of that. So for who is Aleks Paunovic is I'm just someone that's very very grateful for the position that I'm in. There's a lot of people that can do my job, and I think persistency is one of those things, and self belief is one of those things where you can move forward in the things that you like and go through your trials and tribulations to keep persistent in the goal that you want to do. If it was easy, everyone would do it. And I attribute that to anybody's job. If it was easy and you're doing your passion, everyone would do it. And so there is roadblocks and you just got to go past that. And I'm fortunate that I have some great friends that I can talk to, and people that are professionals that can help me through my limitations so I can get the best out of my life. And so that's where I'm sitting right now. I'm just having a great time.
Okay. You guys see this huge, massive human being, who's, you know, been in combat sports and play some exciting roles on screen. We always talk about creatives having the mental health challenges and needing um, to be able to reset, get yourself straight, stay focused, and have that team around you. You only keep a team around you when you have you know a kind attitude, an attitude of gratefulness that these people are in your life. Talk to me about how that has been a key to your success coming to this point.
I mean, it's you're gonna come up against people that are going through their own struggles, and how they deal with it is maybe not championing you as much. And there's just some friends you just got to sift through, and the older you get, the more you know who those friends are. You have to go through the bad groups of friends or the people that don't empower you. You have to go through that so you can recognize it and see the things. And when you're younger, you kind of stay in it because then you start feeling like, oh, is it just me? maybe they're maybe they're calling me out on, like, it's when you're unsure of yourself. Yeah, and for me, I think I wouldn't have recognized it as quickly as I did if I didn't have the people and the help of being able to bounce stuff off of people that you trust, and those friendships. So that shows me so much more gratefulness, and it lets me live in the world the way I organically am, and it helps my work. That's one of the best parts, is that it really helps my work when you know you're a part of a team. And even if you're solo and you feel like you're on an island, which I feel like no one's on an island. You're never the only one going through things, but you go through those moments where you feel like an island. And that's where the deep work really happens. When you can sit alone by yourself and find your self-esteem or work on your self-esteem. Because I feel like confidence is one thing. Confidence is, I know I can do a job, and I know I can do it well, and I can champion through right through that, because that's confidence to me. And then a self-esteem thing is when you're by yourself, and do you believe it? And a lot of people, like, man, I envy people that have those quiet moments and they can be by themselves and they can do the things I go, oh my God, I love this. I went through a lot. I still go through the periods of when I'm by myself, am I doing enough? Should I be doing more? Am I just wait? Then negative talk starts happening. And fortunately, those are the things that I find help in, and those are my limitations.
Mm.
Having conversations with you, doing stuff like this to me champions me because I can get a message across. So having this platform is something that I'm grateful for because I remember just starting out as an actor and just making my way, and the people that were really generous to me and showed me the way I want to be on set. Organically, I would look at someone that I admire and go, that's exactly how I want to be if I'm ever in a position of being a lead on a show, of being in a supporting cast that I'm always on set, that I can emulate that because that feels organic to me. And I honestly, one of the two of the best people that showed me that early in my career are Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki from Supernatural. They are the most amazing hosts on set. It was my first day on set. I had one scene. It was one of my first jobs in Vancouver. And they came into the trailer. Alex, right? They knew my name because they saw me on the call sheet, and they made sure that they came up to me and welcomed me to the show. Thanks for and thanked me for being on the show, which opened me up creatively. It made me go, oh, okay, I can really play. I can really bring this, as opposed to, that first day of school when you feel like you're not welcome, you kind of shut down a little bit. No matter if you're 6'5" or 5'2", it doesn't matter. And so you kind of just want to go, okay, I just want to get my lines right and do my job. The way those guys welcomed me opened up my creative vessel to just play. And I'm not the only one that says that. There's a lot of people in this industry that worked on that show that feel like they did their best work on that show because of those two guys.
Mm.
And I'm fortunate to be in a position where I can do that on projects and welcome people on set. With Van Helsing, or even Van Helsing, I did for 5 years, where I really got to play that. Yeah, I really got to play that part of really practical jokes, having fun, welcoming people that have never been on set before, walking them around, arm in arm, going, you got to check this apocalyptic
Yeah.
vampire vessel I got going there. Sit in that chair. That chair is awesome. So it just brings people together. I love that. And again, having that support, and on Snowpiercer, it was the same thing. We just loved people that came to the show because they made the show better.
Mm.
And as you can see on Snowpiercer, so many extras, so many guest stars coming back in. And not just me, the whole team, Mike O'Malley, Jennifer Connelly, everybody was just amazing with the cast and the crew, which made the show really fun to do. And we were lucky to get 4 seasons. And finally, the 4th season is out for people to see.
Man, I don't think y'all were lucky. I think we were lucky. I don't enjoy much. My nickname is Grumpy Grampy. I hate everything. Come on, bro. I got 6 freaking kids, 15 grandbabies. I hate everything.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. The youngest one just got her full license, got her little plastic card. I'm like, bye. Let me know when you're leaving the house and where you're going. And I'm good. Yeah.
Then you'll be in the house, not on the street.
Yeah, I don't have to be, on chauffeur mode. But Dad,
Right.
I don't care. You know what I mean? So I love it. I love what you mentioned earlier on, though, about having a support team, being able to mentor others and share your experiences. We talk about mentors all the time, but for a mentor to be effective, you, the individual, the receiver, has to be freaking coachable. You know what I mean? And so early on, one of the things that I understand that you still live by, like this key info and help you got from a mentor, Sir Anthony Hopkins,
Man.
a while back. Talk to us about that interaction, man.
Well, yeah, listen, I've been a fan of Mr. Hopkins since basically day one. And obviously, like the work that he's done, and you just marvel at it. I'm a kid sitting at home watching a movie and you're so enthralled in the movie and in the characters, which is what you want. And then an energy like Hopkins steps in and makes you feel stuff with the slightest of movements and the slightest of energy, and he makes you feel something from across the screen. You know, Sir Anthony Hopkins, that's all my brain was. And then when I got the chance to work with him, man,
Yeah.
and then the AD comes up to me and says, Aleks, so this is Tony. Tony, this is Aleks. You guys are going to be working together. And my brain was like, Tony? I can't call him Tony, but you know what? I'm calling him Tony because I can't believe I'm in this position.
Yeah.
And it was really wonderful because we hit it off pretty much immediately because I was nervous. I was definitely nervous because here I'm about to work with one of my legends, and I'm just trying to keep my stuff together. I just want to keep it together and stay professional. And then he asked me out of the blue, he goes, you're a big guy. Like, what kind of sports do you play? And I go, well, you know, I have 3 generations of boxers in my family. And he used to box when he was younger. And so we were just talking about boxing, and we're sitting in our chairs right before we go do a scene. And my brain is going, I can't believe I'm having a conversation with Anthony Hopkins about boxing. And he was bringing out old school stuff. And I'm such a historian of boxing that I knew who he was talking about. And I think that's what brought us closer together. Henry Armstrong, he brought up. I'm like, Henry Armstrong was one of the best fighters of all time that no one really knows about. And so we got this camaraderie together. And I see the ADs in my peripheral basically waiting for the conversation to stop so they can say, we need to go to set now. But I'm just begging them, please don't. I don't know if I'll ever have this opportunity again.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
it was time to go to set. So as we're walking the set and I'm like shaking off my nerves, Sir Anthony says to me, hey, do you mind if we play a little bit, like improv a little bit? And to me, that's such a gift that I'm now like in rehearsals playing a little bit.
Wow.
So we play, and then after the scene, after the rehearsal, he comes up, Aleks, that was great. Man, make sure you say that thing so I can bring up my gun. And I'm like, well, you got to say that other thing to make me bring up my gun. He goes, okay, I got it. So we were jamming the scene out, and which was totally different than what my brain was going through, which just shows to me, which really shows the openness of Tony, of wanting the scene to be great and having everyone involved. And so we did that a few times, and we ended up nailing the scene. And Tony was like, you know, I loved working with you, Aleks. That was such a great time. And we were going to see each other the next day. And he goes, what? Put your phone number in my phone. And I was like,
Wow.
so I'm literally typing my phone number into Anthony Hopkins' phone, thinking he may never message me, but I don't care. My phone number is in Anthony Hopkins' phone. That night, he thanked me for the scene. We did it great. I'll see you tomorrow. And it's one of the texts that I have saved that I just will never get rid of. But then this is where it changed for me. The next day, we were speaking. I feel like we've gotten to know each other a little bit, and we didn't work a lot in the film. It was called Blackway together. I think we were on set like 3 or 4 days together. And I used the gesture of, I was like, Tony, like, is there a method or a secret that, like, because the work that you do is just so profound. Is there something that I'm missing? Like, is there something that you can give me a secret of? And as my gestures were like this, he gently said to me, Aleks, you'll never get there. And I was like, and I just kind of took a second, and his pause was amazing. He goes, because you have already put me on a pedestal with the way you're talking about me. So no matter what I tell you, you're always going to hit your head at the bottom of this pedestal. What we did yesterday was we were just 2 dudes working on a scene, just like an acting class. And there was nothing different with it. We were just 2 regular people making a story, working together. So we're eye to eye. Once you do this, you're not going to achieve what you want to achieve because you've already put me above yourself. And it got emotional for me, and everything washed away to where I was like, see, I love fangirling. I'm a huge fan. That's why I love this business. I'm a huge fan of people's work, and I have no qualms about showing them. But this was a moment where I got to own myself a little bit more and understand that I'm in the same category as these guys. Like even and Anthony even said like Silence of the Lamb again. Like nobody might have ever seen that role if it was done maybe in a less of a budget, or people didn't really get to see it. Maybe it wasn't a theatrical release. Maybe it was during, let's say, the strike era where the film doesn't get released. Like maybe it was, there were so many options. He just got lucky doing the work that he did, like he prepares every other film, and the film became what it became. So you have to let go, and you have to just be and move on. And it just he gave me so many life lessons in such a small amount of time. So I got really, really lucky with working with him and having that type of conversation with one of my faves.
You know, that's like the education a father gives a son. Because my father, to me, he was also a boxer. He boxed for the Air Force, right?
Yeah, we talked about that.
And I just, of course, stature wise, he was only 6'1", but as a kid growing up, he was like,
He's a mountain.
he was a mountain. He was my Andre the Giant.
Right.
I love that guy. I'm sorry, I used him a lot because I
I
really,
love it.
I really enjoyed him. But, you know, and so Sir Hopkins was saying to you, you're already here. There's no reason for you to elevate me above you. You're on set with me. And we played yesterday in the sandbox. We built sandcastles yesterday together in the sandbox. So that was, that old school way I said, chill the fuck out.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Just chill the fuck out. I
Yeah.
mean, and to be so uh, gracious he didn't have to share any of that. And that again, that's another thing that I love is that he didn't have to do that. And it was just him giving back, giving a piece of himself to go, listen, man, like you did it. We just nailed that scene. So go on your journey. Like fly away. Go and like you don't it's fine to get other input and let it land, but it's what shouldn't be the voice is how can I get there? It should be do the work. You know the work that you have to do, and you know the challenges you have to challenge yourself on. We all know those moments of going, I really need to work on my emotionality in this scene, or I really need to work on my anger in this film. So if you know what those moments are, put the work in, as opposed to going, I don't know if I can do this. Let it go, man. Chill the fuck out and put the work in. Just like you said.
Put work clothes on your dreams. That's the only way to build the foundation.
Wait, what did you just say?
Put work clothes on your dreams.
Oh, that's so great.
Your life is a construction project. Your goals,
Right.
those are construction projects. Those are projects. And you have a dream to accomplish something. Put work clothes on it. Get it done.
And and if I can go one step further on it, but pretend you're building your own house, not somebody else's house, because then that's the dream. You're way more invested when you're building your own house. So yeah, I love that. That's a great analogy.
That was dope. So boxing, mentorship, father figures on set. You had one of the biggest, the best. You know, if we were talking about like on-screen dads or industry dads, even if for that brief time, those several days, 3 or 4 days, you learned a lot. And
It's impactful. Sorry to cut you off, but it's impactful because he may not even remember that. Like one of the stories that I tell people is I'm a huge hockey fan. I'm from Winnipeg, middle of Canada.
yeah,
Winnipeg Jets were my team.
okay,
I was about 10 years old, and Montreal Canadiens in the 80s and 70s were my team. And Serge Savard A lot of people may not know him, but Serge Savard was one of those legends at the end of his career, and he ended up joining the Winnipeg Jets. And I'm in awe.
Mm.
So I make my way down. I'm at the game. It was the pre-skate. So they get a little warm up before they go back into the dressing room. So I go towards where the dressing room walk is. And as the pre-skate's happening, I want to see him walk literally 4 feet away from me, past me.
Mm.
I'm in awe. There he is. He's coming off the ice, walking down. And he looked at me and just gave me a wink. He just looked at me and gave me a wink, and I smiled and I cheered. Dude, I was 10 years old. I remember the wink. I felt seen by my idol, and all he did was look at me and give me a wink. He may never remember me because he's probably done it to so many kids, but I remember that because I felt like I was seen. So now I'm in an industry where a kid is on set, an extra is on set, and I just feel the energy, and I want to go up there and give him a little bit of my time. And then he's going to feel something like that. Even if it's 1 out of 20 kids that feel that, I feel like I'm giving back, because that wink, I still remember when I was 10 years old that I felt seen by one of my idols. So those are the moments to me. I mean, there's people out there that don't go through that don't have that correlation with people that they admire. I love the film industry. I love the sports. I'm in awe of some of the boxers that go out there and put themselves on the line. So that little moment of being seen spoke to me, and that's what I just want to give back.
Giving back, coming back together, bringing people together. Speaking of which, throughout your career, and I had a similar, I think, experience. I didn't like talk to my dad for like 10 or 15 years, right? But you used boxing as a way to reconnect with, your natural first idol being your dad.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me about that? Is that something you are willing to share?
Yeah, man. I'm willing to share because I know a lot of people go through it. My dad was my idol. My dad was the dude. And as I got older, we started butting heads, and there was things that I was noticing as I got older by going, oh man, it's more of a do as I say, not as I do type relationship.
Right.
And it really kind of fucked me up a little bit. It's like, it's hard to describe, but it was one of those moments where I had a lot of resentment towards him because it wasn't due. Look, let me show you how to put oil in a car. Let me show you how to do these things. He parented it from a different mindset. He was a young dad, and I forgive him. We're good. We're good right now. Like, we're solid right now. He's 80, and he's I try to find time to go back and to talk to him, and we're good now because I had to let it go. I had to let those moments go because he just did the best that he could do. So for me, rekindling that relationship, one of the biggest things was like I had to hide boxing from him because he was a boxer. And if I boxed with him around when I was a kid, it was a terrible experience. It just wasn't fun. And I didn't enjoy it. But I enjoyed boxing. I loved boxing. So when I was in a heavy metal band and we would tour across Canada, I would like make my way to boxing gyms just to get in there and feel that vibe, and it feels like home to me because that's how I grew up. And even the band was sitting there going, "Look, man, we don't want you boxing. You break your hand, the whole band's out of a job." And so I had to like sneak away and kind of do it because I loved it so much. And then there was a moment where my dad was in a funk. He was down. My mom, it was just one of those moments. And I just thought the boxing gym that I was going to in Winnipeg, whenever we were home and not touring, I went to the boxing gym. I said, okay, look, don't tell my dad that I've been boxing here. When I walk in with him, I'm brand new. and I just want to box, and I want him to kind of be there for me. And we got him. He was basically on the couch mostly every day. He had really no mission to do something when he was in that position. So we walked in, and I just saw him light up, and I said, "Let's do this together." So he was my trainer, and he became training kids at the same time in that gym, and he was at that gym for over 20 years, having a mission to go and help kids. And that was the biggest thing for me, that he could spark the boxing in him again and spark the life in him again. And it was just one of those things where I decided, let's make it happen. I mean, it could go left, it could go right, and luckily it went right. And we kind of got a relationship a little bit more tighter, and he was there for me, and he grew also. So it was a wonderful time for us, and every time I think back to it, I'm glad I made that decision, and I'm glad that he took me up on that offer.
You gave him a life, a real world metaphor for come teach me, dad, show me what you do. And for him to feel like my kid respects what I do and
Mm,
he likes me and let me give it my all. It made him feel good.
yeah.
And probably, and maybe even in ways that, men to men, we may not, even to our sons, discuss and say directly, but that's a fucking ego boost. When your
Yeah.
son comes out, but then you probably ruin the surprise. You shadow boxing, you're sitting on your punches and your torque, and you're hitting from the court. Like he's looking like, quit playing with me, bro. I
No,
already.
no, no. You know what he did?
What do you do?
I taught him all that. I taught him all of that. Now I'll teach you guys all that. That was his mentality. Now,
Oh,
see how good he is? I'm gonna make you that. And we all kind of looked at each other and go, let him have it. Let him have it.
oh, that's so beautiful, bro. You know, everybody comes up through the ranks. They got stories and struggles and disagreements. The magic, the immortal moments happen when one person makes the effort. And this is a very creative effort and a heartfelt effort. And he didn't act surprised. Like he probably in his mind, like, I knew your ass was boxing. I already knew. I could tell by the way you walk.
Yeah,
Boxers walk a certain way. They
yeah.
glide. It's little steps. Oh, he wanted to go left. What did he do? Lead with his left foot. Slid his right in. I'm going, the magic. You know what I mean? So he knew. And
You're right. Yeah, and he gave it to me. He probably just gave it to me too. Yeah.
yeah, I can only imagine the inner joy.
It it definitely brought us closer together, and it made his home life better also, just because um him and my mom, like, it just opened up the door a little bit more because he was getting his confidence back. And it's tough, man, when when you get older, to keep finding passion, right? That's a tough thing to do. And my mom's retired. She owned a travel agency for years, and she had to do the shift of going, okay, so that's not my life anymore, and I have to find that. And my mom's my best friend, so she's found the shift. She's found things to do, and moving forward, and she's even more open to talking about struggles and everything. So the idea that it's brought the family closer together is something that I don't know. I'm just proud of it. And it probably would have happened without me too, because it's just the way the evolution of family is. Hopefully,
Yeah. I love it. I love it. That's an inspirational story. That's the kind of, and I'm a meatitarian, so I use meat references. That's the juice we want to get out of the steak. You feel me?
yes,
That right there. The triumphs, the things we see all the glitz and glamour, and you're at the press, you know, galas, and you're on the carpet and Getty is shooting you and all
right,
that stuff, right? The human behind the celebrity, behind the icon from film, from screen, from sports. These conversations, see, you turn it from an interview to a conversation by bring that kind of those gems right there, and they don't even have to be explained. You don't
Yeah.
get much more. Um, we talked about music before, and I think when we talked, Fender had just sent me a freaking guitar. Like
What?
they sent me a freaking Stratocaster to learn.
Oh,
It
you
gave me
got a Fender Strat?
yeah, and they gave me a scholarship to go to Fender University to learn how to play.
Wow.
Well, what had happened was I wasn't able to put the time in. So, but I do love metal music, specifically death grind. So, like Cold Chamber
Oh
was
wow.
one of
Oh,
Death's.
you're way in there, the heavy stuff.
Oh yeah, I used to work at the Coconut Teaser right there on Sunset and Laurel Canyon, bro.
That's crazy.
I was a fucking bouncer in a rock club, bro. Like when Diz from Guns N' Roses started his Dizzy's Experiment, they used to play at the Coconut Teaser. Freaking my introduction to Death Grind was with fucking Dez right there at Coconut Teaser. Cold Chamber was my first Death Grind.
You're blowing me away right now.
Bro, this is like for real, for real. This is my real life. When I say I came up in this industry in the trenches, literally in the trenches,
Yeah.
that club used to have red and white night. If you don't know what red and white night is, just understand this. I was the only black staff member.
Whoa. Whoa.
It used to go down.
It had to have gone down. Of course.
Yeah, it went down. But then they started being respectful
Of
because
course. You earned it.
my level
But
of
you should
commitment was not
but you
something they were
shouldn't.
used to.
Right. Like you shouldn't have to earn that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, you sit back and you look at somebody like you in the metal industry and going, this guy actually loves the music.
I love the
He's
music.
not just here to do this. He loves the music.
I used to get in the pit, bro. Like y'all, I'll be working in the it's crazy because I'm the only black guy. The manager is Mexican, him and his
Right.
brother, you know, and he's always said, no making tortillas because you couldn't stand around because we were packed all the time. Like you gotta
Right.
move because it's going
Right.
down in there, from the drugs to whatever, it's going down, right? And I would get in the mosh pit, and that would piss him off. And he finally fired me because I was like, throw me the fuck around. I like this, you know what I mean?
Oh,
And I was accepted, you know what I mean? I was accepted. So I
yeah.
had fun. Talk to me about how much fun it was for you to make music, and how did you got discovered for your first acting gig, right?
Hmm.
While performing on stage.
Correct. Yeah.
Talk to me about that fun, the transition, and the benchmark moment that put you on screen, bro.
Well, it was interesting. Like I was fortunate enough to be in a band with my boys from high school, my friends from high school. We would hang out all the time. Right after school, we would go to my buddy Tony's house or my buddy Trevor's house, and and my buddy Trevor had his own band, and they were neighbors with Tony. And Tony would we would rehearse in his parents' basement, which they were so gracious because they were like it was one of those things where at least they're not on the street, they're just in our basement jamming. So we developed their craft in the basement, and we were touring, we were playing in bars at 15 where they wouldn't we could only be on stage, and when we were done that set, they had to usher us up to the hotel because we weren't allowed to be in the bar. So we got the bar atmosphere very early, 15 years old.
Right.
And once that started happening, and the idea that we were jamming, and then during our summer breaks, we would tour around that area. So we were really lucky that we got our feet wet in it. And the idea that you're working with four other dudes, we were a five-piece metal band called Specula Black. At the time, we were called Misbehavin', because
Mm.
that's such a 15-year-old name that you think you're tough. And then it turned into Specula Black. We just changed the name. But we were playing stuff like Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne. That was our vibe. And we had our singer, Scott Botham, we call him Ham. He had one of the best metal. We lucked out, and he had one of the best metal voices in that area. So we got to be able to play stuff like Judas Priest to Metallica, and have a nice 3 sets. And then as that happens, you start writing songs. And what I really learned from that is working as a team, which is the same thing what you do in the film industry. You work as a team, you find your way in. I was never the best bass player, but I loved entertaining.
Mhm.
I loved being up there and making the fans watch the band. So I was all over the place, spinning my head. I was all of that. If you look up Specula Black on YouTube, and we're on Spotify, you can hear the stuff that we play. It's very 80s metal. And I'm so proud of the songs that we did in the time that we had each other. But that really made me feel like I knew how to play with a team, which
Mhm.
transformed years later on set. And I felt like I had a leg up in that aspect of it. And we were playing a club in Winnipeg, and a casting director came. And after one of the sets, she says, I'm casting a movie in town. This is the first, like, Winnipeg wasn't a film community, but they had a pretty good tax credit. So movies started happening. But
Hmm.
I didn't really know about the movie industry at that time because I was in a metal band. And that was my dream. So when I was asked to audition, honestly, my brain goes, well, I'm in the music industry, but I say yes to new experiences. That's one of the things I love to do, is just say yes and give it a shot. And I went in there, ended up auditioning, ended up getting the role of a butler for Roddy McDowall, who is famous from the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Ed Asner was in it. John Cryer was in it. Jennifer Tilly was in it. And again, these are people I did not know. I just knew I saw their faces. And so that was exciting. And so now I'm on set, and I got to tell you right off the bat, when you're in a band and you're in a van and you're barely getting paid any money just because, you're 5 guys, and you got a light guy and you got a sound guy, everyone's got to get paid. And a week's work, sometimes you're walking away with $50. So we were hitting 7-Elevens and buying noodles and the 7-Eleven hot dogs, and just eating very little. So I get cast in this movie, and I get to set, and an AD, again, this is all new to me, an AD walks up to me and says, welcome, Alex, welcome to set. So just grab your breakfast over there, and we'll meet you in hair and makeup. And then I look, and I see this massive buffet table, a big truck.
Craft services.
Yeah. And I look, and I go, whoa, hold on 1 sec. So like grab anything from there? He goes, yeah, it's a buffet. It's a breakfast. Go eat it. My brain went, okay, I got to learn how to do this job because I'm a big dude. I'm a big fucker, and I need to eat. And this motherfucking truck is going to feed me for free. That was the first indication to me where I was like, I need to learn how to do this job.
Bro,
So then I ended up doing it. I ended up enjoying it. And it was one of those things where the stunt coordinator at the time, his name's Rick Skeen, who was one of my mentors, he came to me and he said, look, man, the industry's small here. There's only one stunt community, one stunt team. We don't have a big guy like you, and you can fight. So I would love to bring you on. So it got to the point where this is where the ego check comes in. I would be playing in front of 600 people with my band, jamming out. Everyone's looking at me. Everyone's cheering. I feel like a rock star. I feel like a god. And then when I'm done that night at 2 a.m., I drive to the film set where Rick needs me, and I'm basically a gopher because I'm just starting. So I'm getting the mats for the landings for the stunt guys. Rick is saying, get us some coffee. I'm going to get coffee. Hey, don't talk to the actors. They're concentrating. I'm learning on the job. So I'm getting a lot of gopher stuff, but I just came from being a rock star. So my brain was more like, this is a huge ego test for me, but there's something about this industry that I want to learn, and I'm going to swallow my pride and just learn from who I felt was such a kind and amazing mentor in Rick Skeen.
Mm.
So that's how the transition happened. I started in stunts, and then I started taking acting classes in Winnipeg. And then I started doing stunt actor roles. And I developed lifelong, that was over probably like 23 to 25 years ago. And Victor Webster,
Mm.
who was still one of my best friends, Michael Trucco from Battlestar Galactica and House of Usher, he was on that movie too. And we became friends at that moment. And they would come and watch me play when on a night off, and then we would go to set. It was just a phenomenal experience to the point where those two guys, I just hung out with Victor. I just hung out with Trucco, and they're lifelong friends. And we're in a position now that we look back and go, that we met on the same movie. And they inspire me. Their work inspires me. And so to be on this journey when I first met them and now I'm with them, it's just been a really great transition. Really great.
What a fun way to navigate the maze that is the entertainment industry. You know what I
Def-
mean?
Definitely.
What interesting. So people look at me and they ask, well, how did you get? I started in the mailroom at Creative Artists
Whoa.
when we were still doing hard copy press kits. Like the order would come down, pull the headshot, pull the bio, pull the res, send it up to the agent, the booking agent at CAA, you know, and then it segued into something else. I started building sets and like risers. I got to work on the Stevie Wonder's House Full of Toys at the freaking Forum one year, you know,
Whoa.
and like met Tina Marie. Now she was short, but you closed your eyes. Something magical happened when she sang. It was
Wow.
just insane. You know, been lucky. So I only bring these up because when people were talking about career trajectory with that last question, how things happen,
Mhm.
it's not unusual for artists to have multiple gigs. You know, if you're an actor, you know, you might be waiting tables, you might be the host, you might be at the door. You mentioned ego, you know, put that aside, man, and do what you have to do, first of all, to pay your freaking bills.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you got to have multiple jobs, you know, let's talk about Flavor Flav sponsoring the girls' water polo team.
Right.
Those ladies, they're freaking champions, right? But they're some of them are working 2 and 3 jobs
Yeah.
to live their dream to be a professional athlete. So that translates back. I put the sports and you gotta go together, right? So
Totally.
the story just becomes don't worry about that you're at McDonald's earning $15 an hour, that you're flipping fries. Use that as your base and work from it. Build out, as this man said. And when you get there, because I gotta get, and then we're gonna get to legend right after this. But
Okay.
um earlier in the conversation, you were talking about when you were on set and evaluating your time on set with Sir Anthony Hopkins, and you had that moment. Do I really belong here?
Right.
That imposter moment.
Mhm.
You know, how did you work through that imposter moment? I used the butt naked technique in front of the full length mirror, and
Mm.
for each accomplishment, I put on mentally. This is mentally. It's don't
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
freaky
Now,
people.
now I'm picturing you butt naked. Way to go.
No. So at each achievement, I mentally put on a piece of clothes. So a sock. I did this. I did that. Here's the sock. I can't wait to get to the underwear because I know people are looking at me.
Right.
I ain't got no stage fright, damn it. Anyway,
Right.
so till you're fully dressed and you know when you put on that crown, that crowning achievement,
It's great.
you've earned it. Now you get an opportunity to acknowledge your greatness, acknowledge your work, and it's not ego. Because for me, ego is giving other people an opportunity to be comfortable with your achievements. But if you're comfortable first, it doesn't matter.
That's self-esteem, man.
Self-esteem. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I
I
just
love that.
so that's the segue into mental health. You know,
Yeah,
especially we're talking to men right now, and I'm going to give the floor to Alex, and I'm going to actually mute my mic because he's got this amazing, amazing initiative. We've already set the foundation, with some of the mental uh, travels and travails of being a creative or just a human being, but specifically for men in communicating that and accepting that they need help. And this is also to my combat brothers. We have it really bad. You know, accepting help and asking for help, manning up. To me, manning up is saying, I freaking ain't got this.
yeah, I need help.
I need help. So you have you're co-founder of this newly launched water called Legend Water, which hails from the Rocky Mountains of Canada. Um, there's a couple of things that it works with. Legend helps to do away or eliminate single-use plastic bottles, plus
Exactly.
contributes to mental health. And the Hype magazine was the first one in the entertainment industry to use the QR code system in our
Right.
magazine, right? We're the very first.
That's awesome.
The fact that Legend has the QR code on the side of the can, of the container, I'm sorry,
Hmm.
that links to tools and resources and hotlines for free mental health and others is amazing. And we love what you're doing. The Hype magazine loves that, acknowledging that we're a mobile first, a digital first world, and using that to close the gap between the realization and the call. Alex, go.
I appreciate you letting me talk about this because it is such a passion of mine. I mean, what's the most healthiest thing for your brain, right, in the world is water, and especially alkaline water. I literally just got off. Someone sent a message to our one of our socials saying that he's been drinking alkaline. He's a good friend of mine. He goes, "I love that you're doing this." He's living in Portugal, and he's like, "I love that you're doing this. Alkaline water saved my life because my heartburn is gone, my health is better." And we were really fortunate. And I gotta say, this isn't the reason why I did it, and it happened organically. But I'm dropping a name right now because he was one of my best buds. Jason Momoa had this whole initiative growing up in Hawaii, and he's seeing all the single plastic use, and he used his star power to launch his water in an aluminum can to get rid of single plastic use. And I've been the same, exactly the same for the last X amount of years of seeing these plastic bottles and even the stats right now. In a 60-day shoot, you're using over 40,000 single-use bottles of plastic on set. And it is astounding because we found out through research, and a lot of reports have come out that they're not being used the way people are saying they should be used to be recycled. They're being burned or buried. And what I really wanted to do is have those the aluminum cans on set to get rid of single plastic use. And in the beginning of 2025, we're going to be one of the only companies to have a resealable can. Now, here's Legend right here. So this is the can, and we got it. So this is the can right here. We got it. Yeah. and and the idea of having it look so cool that you can be in a bar or you can be at a picnic and you can crack one of these, you hear that fizz and you crack it. It's just spring alkaline, hydrogen protected, and you can feel like you're a part of the party. And that's what we really wanted to do. We didn't want to be specific with it. It's a premium brand. And where the QR code is, right up in the corner here. Legends supporting legends. And it was an initiative that I really wanted to put on the can, and the owners were all over for it, was because we all go through our struggles. And if one person hits that QR can or QR code and sees the crisis hotline for basically to help out in, it's a suicide hotline, crisis hotline to help out anybody that needs it right away. We're working with an amazing rehab facilitator who's been in the industry helping a bunch of athletes and people around the world with rehab facilities, and he's directing us to the right rehab facilities in each province. If one person looks at it and decides, I'm struggling right now, I need to hit this QR code, I'm happy. But this makes me always have, in situations like this, the opportunity that you're giving me is to really talk about that. It's okay to talk about it. Plastic is one of the biggest polluters in the world. Like, bottled water is the number one use of plastic. That's what blows my mind. Like, it's above everything else. Bottled water is the number one use of single plastic use, which is why we want to get rid of it. And the resealability, which is what we'll have in the beginning of 2025, will be great for sets. I want to get these on every set that I can get them at. I just had an amazing experience with Owen Wilson recently. Him and I worked on set on I Spy 20 years ago. And it just so happened that it worked out where Charmaine, who was head of hair and makeup for Van Helsing, is working on the show. And he says Owen Wilson drives around on his bike with his glass bottle because he hates single plastic use also. And I said, oh, wow, man, would you let him know what I'm doing? I don't know if he'll remember me, but let him know what I'm doing. And if it's cool, I'd love to drop off a case for him. And sure enough, he goes, I remember Alex. Yeah, get him to come by. And we just started talking about getting rid of plastic, whatever, any way we can. And he was so kind and such a supporter. So Legend Water to us is not only an initiative to get rid of single plastic use, but also in a week of drinking single plastic use, you are actually consuming plastic that equals a credit card. So each week you're drinking from plastic bottles, you have a credit card of plastic inside, nanoplastics that are sitting inside in the plastic bottle. So there's so many unhealthy things about it, but it's the most easily accessible thing to get to on set. You drink the water, you close it up, you go to set. I get it. I've done it. I'm not sitting here preaching down at people. I've done it. I just want an alternative to what is out there. And if what I'm doing and the sets that I'm working on and the relationships that I've built can get more aluminum cans, recyclable cans on sets, then that's my goal. I'm ecstatic about it. And it tastes so good. Like, it tastes so good. It's clean. It's in an aluminum can. There's no nanoparticles. If the biggest thing is, we just launched on Thursday, and our socials are Legend Water Co. And it's on Instagram, X, and TikTok. Please follow us. As many people as we can follow. We're going to be doing initiatives on set. We're going to be doing some great events and charity events for mental health. The team behind us are really excited to be a part of the world and bring legend to legends. Anyone that drinks a legend, it doesn't even have to be our can. If you're drinking alkaline water, or if you're drinking the cleanest water out of aluminum cans, you're a legend. And hopefully we can get it going. And we're doing things for younger kids. So bringing young legends into it to make legend cool for everybody, but also take it to the next level and get rid of single plastic use.
And for you people who enjoy cruises, I found this out on a cruise. You can bring canned water on board the ship.
You what?
You can bring.
You can.
You can bring
Great.
your own canned water on the cruise ships.
Perfect.
You cannot bring water in plastic bottles.
I did not know that. That's amazing.
Yeah. But if you have water in a can, you can bring that on board the cruise ship. So,
People are getting it. People are
so
getting it. And
yes,
and and the last thing I really want to, like, the guys that I'm working with, when we talked about team, they're the best team, and I'm super fortunate. But this isn't just about water. Like, this is my mission. It's a mission for me. I'm so involved in the mission of getting rid of single plastic use, getting these cans out there. I'm passionate about it. I'm not looking to preach to anybody at all. I just want to have people have another choice, have another alternative, a healthy alternative, and save the planet at the same time. And again, Momoa started, and he's one of my best boys. Like, he's honestly one of the kindest, most generous dudes out there. And for him to do that, and just serendipity wise, this opportunity came. And if it wasn't for Jay, that really showed it to the world and showed it to me how bad plastic was for the world, I probably wouldn't have known about this, and also wanted this mission for Canada and for the rest of the world. North America, the idea of breaking in to North America is something that we're really excited about. We've launched in Canada. It became a quick success. We want as many followers as possible. We're going to be doing giveaways to a certain amount of followers that we get. We need to grow our social media so we can get the initiative out there for people, because this is my mission now, is to get it out there.
bro, I would love to support that. Uh,
I'll send you a case.
Send me a case. I'll do some brand ambassador stuff from the editorial side, um, mostly because of the mental health part.
Yeah.
But also, I've been around the world, and you know, we brought in water by the case, by the freaking pallet load, you know,
Mm-hmm.
depending on where we were stationed. And it was always, big trash thing. They don't have recycle over there or whatever. And even, in the military situations, people get kind of lazy and things like that, and leave stuff around. So,
And again,
uh,
we're not judging. It's just the only thing we have out there. And
right.
let's just give it an option.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. I mean, it's twofold. You get to save money. You don't have to drink the cruise ship tap water. You can bring your own water for your
Wow.
crew.
Right.
I mean, that's healthy water, alkaline water. It's legendary out there on the seas, drinking the legend water. If if this becomes part of your lifestyle, you have a bump and you need some quick help, maybe just somebody to talk to. The crisis line is there in the QR code on the side of the can. It's more than a value to you as a human being and your nutrition kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's good for the environment. It also connects people with resources. And it might not even be you that day. You ride the rough, tough, and dangerous or the subway and somebody's having a moment. You know what I mean? You might be saying, let me scan this QR code. I'm just saying.
No, it's a domino effect.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you froze. You know, things always happen when you're having a good conversation. And the universe just doesn't want you to finish out smoothly. This is Aleks Paunovic, and he is an amazing actor. He's a championship boxer, and by God, he's a good human being. It's proven out. Hype Magazine live sessions. We're out.